Hello and welcome back to Living 757. Lots of people have getting physically healthy as one of their New Year's resolutions, but now more than ever, it is equally as important to take care of your mental health. With us today is Rachel Ann Dine, host of the Living Freely podcast. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Rachel, welcome.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what your podcast entails?
Absolutely. So I'm a licensed professional counselor. I've been in the field now since 2005. I can hardly believe it. It's gone by so quickly. But I am collaborating with the Norfolk Public Library system and was asked to host Living Freely podcast, where we really specialize in offering very down-to-earth, realistic strategies to help everyone live life well. I know that 2020 was such a hard year, so we really wanted to provide this resource and just make it very accessible so anybody can tune in and receive some great strategies.
Yes, and you just mentioned right that just exactly the point, Rachel, when you say we have a very tough year. What tips you can give us to stay healthy at home with so much restrictions that we have right now in these times?
Absolutely. So my go-to is always what I call the 3 pillars of wellness. So on the most basic level, when stress gets really high, when anxiety gets really high, or even depression enters the scene, one of the first and best things you can do is assess these 3 different things. What are you putting in your body? How much are you, eating? What are you eating? At the end of the day, food is medicine, food is fuel. Are you not even eating enough? And then also monitoring what substances am I using? Alcohol, drugs, all of the above can even affect the next pillar, which is sleep. So like I said, very basic, but just even checking in, how much sleep are you getting? So once again, when stress, anxiety, and even depression enters the picture, these things can really go by the wayside. So how much sleep? And then last but not least, how often and what are you doing to physically move your body? So we know at the end of the day, research shows that exercise is a healing agent. It helps us to release anxiety and depression, and it's just overall great for mental and physical health.
Amazing.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Some things that we need to put in practice every day.
You got it. And then also, of course, right now there are so many therapists who are working online. And so if folks aren't feeling safe about going into a doctor's office, online telemedicine is just as effective. Just like we're doing our interviews here, it's kind of the new wave of this year. So don't be scared to reach out and try that telehealth service as well for therapy.
Now, are there any ways that you recommend to kind of woo-saw when you're at home by yourself? Are there any exercises that you do?
Absolutely. So just recently, I don't have a formal regimented practice, but I do like to meditate. So whether it's just focusing on my breathing, I think sometimes when we get very stressed out, it's so easy for your shoulders to get really clenched up or just lose sight of your breath. And breath, the reason I love it is that it's free, it's accessible, you can use it anytime. So that deep breathing, I know there are a lot of parents who are at home and they are trying to teach their kids and work. So even creating lists, having some kind of organizational strategy, all can be so helpful. But we're all, I think, just trying to do the best that we can in this stressful time.
Yes, and I think we saw with these COVID times, maybe couples that they're not used to be together for a long time. Do you have any tips for them? And also, you think that set up new resolutions with a lot of restriction is a good idea?
So I'm more so into intention. So there's actually a whole body of research that shows that resolutions are not always as effective. It almost sets a person up for these unrealistic goals sometimes. I love the thought behind it, but instead, what would be your intention in evaluating the previous year? What went really well? What didn't you like about the year? How you handled it, your emotional status, and then setting intentions. I will learn to communicate better. I will better manage anger, all of the above, and really creating to live that intention.
Great. Thank you so much, Rachel.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me. Yes. Take care. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.